What's up? This is Valerie Wilson here with another episode of Room 101. So today I am at the precipice of going to bed. And when I wake up the next morning, teach other people's children at school. Now, I know, I understand. There are so many people who think that educators just have the best job ever because of the breaks that we get. I promise you, and breaks ain't nothing. Okay? Nothing. Why? Because if you really knew how much mental energy and physical, but mental energy it takes to deal with your children at school for 8 hours. And on top of that, the adults in the building. See, at your job, if you don't work with children, at your job, all you are responsible for are the dealings with the adults. God bless you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, God bless you. Because you blessed. You blessed. Don't be complaining. You don't have to deal with both sides. Okay? You don't. So I just needed to get this off my chest because it's real out here in these education streets. Like, dang, what they be expecting us to do with your kids is over and beyond what should be required in our position. I'll just be real about it. I'll just be honest about it. Unless you want to pay us more, you know, unless you want to pay us more. But even that though does not compensate for what we're required to do on a daily basis. And I know, I understand if you have no experience in education except for when you were in school. Sorry, but you can't relate. You can't relate. I'm not sorry. You can't relate. Mm-mm. Your school experience of being a student in school is like 10% of a teacher's experience teaching in school, a principal's experience principaling at school, a counselor's experience counseling at school. But that was just one of you. There was just one of you. But I'll tell you, 18-year veteran teacher. I started in 2006. It's 2023, second half of the school year. I was in high school. These last 2 years, I've been in the middle school. And I can say the utmost confidence. You don't know nothing about what goes on in the school building every single day if you have not worked as an adult in that building in some capacity. Just keep it real. Okay? You can take it how you want to take it. I feel like I'm presenting this the best way possible according to where I am in my stage in life and the season that I am in mentally. Keeping in mind that I started this by saying, my break is over and I have to teach children tomorrow. Now, I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. I love what I do. Let me clarify that. Let me put a box around that. Let me define it for you. Let me bold that. Let me highlight it. And then ask you to write a note on the side of your paper what I do. Because people think that what we do as educators is we go into a classroom full of children, they sit there, they intently listen to whatever it is the state has required us to teach them that most of they won't use the rest of their life. We feed them, we give them snacks. We have nice little theme parties for them, depending on the age group. And then we send them on their merry way, happily waving as the bus drives off. No, no, no. That's not what happens. In between, when they get dropped off at school and when you see them in the afternoon, it's a whole bunch of stuff that was going on that day. Most of the struggle that we have is a mental struggle. The teaching would be extremely easy if it were not for all the other all the other factors that play into educating a child. We have to be understanding of and um, compensate for and address oftentimes how a child has been reared, how a child is currently being reared in the place that they live, if they have a place to live, a consistent place to live, or any place at all. A lot of times, home life is not set up the same way as school life, meaning schedules are not the same. Emphasis on what's important is not the same. Responsibilities of the child are not the same in both spaces. The expectations for the child are not the same in both places. And that causes conflict within the school building. So I would love for people to have a broader perspective when they decide what their opinion is going to be about education and the teachers who are doing the educating. I think that it would be really nice if the standards for becoming a certified teacher were risen, but I think that would also require the reverence of a teacher in the community to also rise. If within the community teachers are not respected, if teachers are not held to the same level of professional reverence as doctors or lawyers, and what do you think that does when the child gets into the classroom with that teacher? And I get it, because at this point there's a teacher shortage in 2024 and has been for a few years now. And so we're trying to just grab anybody we can to come on in the system and do what needs to be done. Problem is, they don't know how to do what needs to be done because they haven't had the training. And so if we're so desperate to have a warm body fill a seat in a classroom just to say that the kids are being supervised and hopefully taught, I think that's a major place we have some problems. So these problems are bigger than the four walls of the school. But just so you know, the four walls of the public school system are about to implode. Not explode, implode. Who's in the building? The students, the educators, Who are the ones who's going to get hurt? Students, the educators. I know my experience is very limited in terms of the few places that I've been. I've been to several, but not very spread out. The places were very similar. I'm not saying any of this to say that in general, all schools or even the majority of the schools are this way. But I do talk to people in a variety of different places, talk about similar issues in all the places. Purpose is not to give you 5 solutions that I've come up with. You remember I said I'm a teacher, right? So we really don't have time to be thinking about other things except for what am I going to teach these kids tomorrow and how am I going to maintain order in the classroom so that nobody's child gets hurt. Then leave a lot of brain space for solving a whole bunch of extra problems sometimes. But I am presenting this as an invitation to have a conversation about it. For non-educators to be invited into a space where these issues are being discussed and hopefully something that leads to a way to solve some of them. I'm willing to have that conversation. I might have to take off to do it. I'm so willing to have that conversation. If you have some influence in whatever circle you roll in, how about bring this up and see where it goes? Education affects every single other sector in this world we live in. I just think it's time to put a little more importance on it. Well, thank you so much for watching. I am Coach V, Miss Valerie Wilson, your favorite educator. And I want to say I love you. I appreciate you for watching. And I can't wait to see you next time. Be blessed.